Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today, as I promised on my previous video, they'll be doing an initial impressions video regarding the Note 20 release and give you guys an idea whether you should get these devices or not based on the official specs you've just seen from Samsung themselves. So we're gonna go ahead and open up here this website GSM Arena. So I'm gonna compare the specs side by side and give you guys an idea whether you should even get these devices. So yeah, if you didn't watch the event yesterday, Samsung unveiled all the devices, including Note 20, and we got a rough idea of the device, everything. So everything was unveiled, and the price as well. We'll go through that later, but let's get started with the Note 20. So I'm just gonna compare all the 5G variants. We're not gonna bother with 4G variants, as they're essentially the same, just without 5G. So let's get started here. So the Note 20 on the left, on the right is the Ultra, and yeah, as you can see, both devices will be launching on August 21st, so everyone will be able to get their hands on it on August 21st if you pre-order it. And so the body, well, the dimensions obviously on the Note 20 is smaller a bit versus the Note 20 Ultra. So you can see we have a smaller dimensions here in almost all aspects except for this. I'm not sure why this is 8.3 mm, where this is 8.1 mm. I'm assuming it's the flat display. But anyway, so the weight on this thing is lighter versus this one is a bit heavier. And this is where things get interesting. So the build on this regular Note 20, if you thought it was all glass, actually it's not. So only the front panel is using glass, which is Gorilla Glass 5, and the back, they're going back to the traditional plastic bag, which is a polycarbonate bag, which we've been seeing for, like, I think those older days, like the Note 3 days or Note 4 days. But yeah, they're going back to the plastic design, but it makes it looks like it's glass, so kind of a way to save cost, I guess. But anyway, just to let you guys know. So the Ultra, obviously you have everything good. We have the latest Gorilla Glass Victus, as I mentioned in the previous video. So we have a Gorilla Glass Victus on the front and the back. And also we got the stainless steel frame, which is to be expected because you're gonna pay a lot of money for this Ultra, it seems. So you're gonna get the best of the best in terms of the premium build quality and so on. Alright, so the Note 20 Note 20 regular one, I believe it's going to have a hybrid dual SIM. Same goes with the Ultra. I really hope I'm just hoping that they provide a dedicated dedicated SIM and SD card slot, because right now it's always been a hybrid dual solution, which is kind of sad because I think some mid-range devices feature dedicated SD cards and dedicated SIM card slots. So I'm not sure why they cannot do it in the high end, but anyway, here is what we got. So both have Samsung Pay. We have IP68 dust and water resistance on both as well. And here is where the things change a bit. So the S Pen, which also known as a stylus, if you didn't know, the latency on the Note 20 is 26 milliseconds, and on the Note 20 Ultra is faster, is 9 milliseconds, which is technically is quite fast on the Note 20 Ultra. But anyway, comparing these devices to the previous generation, is both of them actually significantly faster, so you'll have a good experience using the S Pen. In writing down notes, it'll be much faster, and the response time is faster overall. Alright, moving on to the display. So both have the same technology using the Super AMOLED display. However, on the Note 20 Ultra, you notice here they're using a dynamic AMOLED 2X. I don't know what's that, but it's their new term. 2X capacitive touchscreen versus just a regular Super AMOLED Plus touchscreen. I'm not sure what's the actual difference actually, but both are using the same kind of LED technology. And okay, so the screen size, yep, this is smaller, 6.7, 6.9. The resolution on this thing on the Note 20 is just a Full HD Plus panel, so you're gonna get 393 ppi. And on the Note 20 Ultra, you get a Quad HD panel, which means you're gonna get 496 ppi of density. And on the protection side, we're gonna getting our Gorilla Glass 5 on the Note 20. On the Note 20 Ultra, we're gonna get the Corning Gorilla Glass Victus, which is nice. So HDR10 plus on both devices as well, and always on display. They didn't mention here the refresh rate, but the refresh rate on the Note 20 is actually just 60 Hz. You can't go more than that, which is kind of a sad thing as well for this device. And the Note 20 Ultra, obviously you're gonna get the best of the best. You're gonna get 120 Hz at Full HD only. Unfortunately, you can't go full Quad HD on 220 Hz, it seems, and you can go 60 Hz with Quad HD. So I really hope they can allow us to control the refresh rate manually regardless of the resolution, because I think other flagships are doing this already. I'm not sure why Samsung is still limiting the refresh rate to the resolution. Not sure what's going on, but I hope they unlock that in the software update, because I think that's what people complain from the S20 lineup, where they can't control the refresh rate if they increase the resolution. So it's pretty pointless of the Quad HD panel if you don't, I mean, let us increase the refresh rate. But anyway, this is what we got. So yep, now let's move on to the platform. So operating system, both devices on Android 10, which is to be expected, and they're using the One UI 2.5 software, which is Samsung's own One UI skin on top of Android. And to be honest, in terms of the design, everything is pretty much the same as what you see now with the One UI 2.1 update. Maybe there are some differences in the settings, or in the maybe in the settings, but you have to check it out. So far, not much difference in general, but that's what we got. Alright, here's where things get a bit controversial. So the chipset. Alright, so sorry, let me go back. If you notice, the Note 20 and Note 20 Ultra, as I mentioned in my previous video, they're gonna get the Exynos 990, which is technically what we got with the S20 series. And from then, I think by then you know that in Exynos 990 really underperforms in terms of performance versus the Snapdragon 865, and that is not even the 865 plus, it's just a regular 865. So you can see with the US variant, you're gonna get this Snapdragon 865 plus, which is technically more better in everything, almost everything. So I'm not sure why Samsung is still, doing this, because this is gonna make more people unhappy, because the Exynos variant is pretty much inferior in terms of the performance and the benchmarks. So pretty sad thing. I really hope next year they move to the Exynos 992, because that's at least more better. But this is what we got this year. I know it's pretty sad. So the GPU side, both are the same. We get a Mali G77 for the global variant. If you're getting the Snapdragon variant, you get the Adreno 650. So basically, the Adreno variant is slightly faster for compared to the Mali variant, which is pretty much what we saw with the S20 series. Alright, so let us move on to the memory cards. So memory card on the Note 20. So the same thing happened to the Note 10 last year. They don't have an SD card slot, whereas you buy the higher end variant, you get the SD card slot. And this one obviously is using the shared SIM slot, which is why I don't want that hybrid solution. I prefer they have a dedicated SD card slot for it. But this is what we got. So the internal storage, it seems you have two variants here. For the Note 20, you can get a 128 variant or the 256 GB variant. Only 8 GB RAM though, so no 16 gigs RAM, 12 gigs of RAM, so only 8 GB RAM. And for the Note 20 Ultra, you're gonna get 3 variants. You can choose 128 gigs, 256 gigs, or 512 gigs. So all only at 12 gigabytes of RAM. So you can't go. There's no 16 gigs of RAM there's no 16 gigs of RAM like some other flagships are putting in. So this is what we got. And I believe the RAM is using a LPDDR5 RAM, I'm not mistaken. So yeah. And lastly, we have the UFS 3.1 storage speed here. So these are the improved version compared to the UFS 3.0 we saw. So it's gonna get faster read and write speeds technically when opening up apps or even putting up the device, which is nice. Alright, let's move on to the cameras. So the cameras, from what we saw in the previous leaks that I mentioned in the previous video, pretty much the leaks mentioned everything is actually true. So you can see the main cameras on the regular Note 20, pretty much accurate from the leak. So you got 12 megapixel normal camera, 64 megapixel telephoto camera, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. So standard triple camera array here you're getting, and you obviously get LED flash, the auto HDR, panorama features, and so on. For the video, we get the 8K resolution at 24 frames, which is fantastic. We have 4K at 60 frames per second as well. Even we have 1080p at 240 FPS if you really want. So that's a slow motion, by the way, and have 720p at 960 FPS. And has all those features like HDR10 Plus, stereo sound, and gyro EIS and OIS as well. And yep, let's move on to the Note 20 Ultra. So the leaks are pretty on point. So 108 megapixel normal camera, 2 megapixel telephoto camera, also known as the periscope telephoto lens. So we have the 5 times optical zoom with that 50x hybrid zoom, as I mentioned last time. So pretty nice. So you're gonna get that ability to zoom into far away objects without losing much detail actually, which is good. And we have the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, as the same one you saw with the Note 20. So most of the video features are the same on both devices actually, not much difference. And moving on to the selfie camera, same case for both devices. They're using the same exact lens, so no change here, everything else the same. So you're gonna get a 10 megapixel dual pixel technology as well on both devices, and it can record 4K and 60 frames per second on both devices as well. Alright, sound. So they both have stereo speakers, so one on top, one at the bottom. And yes, by now you should know they are already omitting the headphone jack, so no headphone jacks on both devices. And we didn't see the headphone jack since the Note 10, so I don't think they're gonna put it back again. I don't think so. I guess wireless is the way moving forward, so we have to deal with that. And yeah, all of the sounds are tuned by AKG. So yeah. Right, moving on to the comms. So we have obviously we have the Wi-Fi 6 on both devices, as mentioned here, and we have Bluetooth 5 on both devices, GPS, NFC, and so on. Both are using USB Type-C. Alright, moving on to the features. So the fingerprint scanner on the Note 20 is still using the one we saw on the S20. So they're using the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint scanner on both devices. So I was expecting them to use the full screen variant of the fingerprint scanning, but they didn't use that for this version. So you have to use the small area where you can scan. So they only use a small area. I was just hoping that they include the big area, so it's like easier to scan your fingerprint wherever you want. But I don't think it's coming to this device. Probably next year, maybe the S21 or the Note 21, but we have to see. So this is what we got. And by the way, they also included wireless DeX, which is what I find actually quite interesting, because right now if you want to use Samsung DeX, you need a cable, and if you don't have the cable, it won't work obviously. So it's kind of annoying. You need to have that cable with you at all times. So with this new Note 20, we can use wireless DeX, which is fantastic. You don't have to have that cable, which is nice. Alright. And lastly is the battery. So battery on the Note 20 is just a 4300 mAh battery, which is matching the leaks that we saw. Same goes with the Note 20 Ultra is 4500 mAh battery. So the sizes on these devices aren't that particularly big. It's just okay, it's decent. But I was just hoping it will be bigger. Like maybe the Note 20 Ultra will get a 5000 mAh battery or something like that, because I mean you're paying a lot of money already. I hope they include a bigger one, but this is what we got. So yeah, and both have fast charging obviously, so you get a fast charger in the box, and we have wireless charging and reverse wireless charging as well. It's supported, so no worries there. Right, so lastly is the colors. So the colors on this pretty much on point with the leaks again. So the green variant, bronze and gray for the Note 20, and the bronze, black and white variant for the Ultra. So if you want to get the white or the white or black, which is currently exclusive to the Note 20 Ultra, you have to go with this instead. If you want the green variant, you only have one option, which is the Note 20, and the gray as well. So yeah, that's the colors. And the price, so this is in euro, but the exact pricing in US dollars is 999 US dollars, and for the Note 20 Ultra is around 1299 US dollars, which is freaking expensive. So if you convert that to ringgit, which is in Malaysia, so this one costs roughly around, should be around 4,000 something, yeah, 4,000 ringgit over, and this one should be around close to 5,100 ringgit. So pretty expensive. It's very expensive now, so that's a sad thing. Now let's take a look at the images in a close-up look here. So this is the regular Note 20. So you can see the design is slim, it's okay, it's not that thick. The camera's protruding a little bit here, but not too much compared to the Ultra, which I'll show you later. So these are the cameras, and we have a microphone here, looks like an LED flash. We have the volume rockers here and the power button. And this side we have nothing, looks like they got rid of that Bixby key already since the S20 as well. So they don't have a Bixby key anymore. This S Pen is relocated to the left side now, it seems, instead of the right. Not very sure why, but probably for some reason. And you can see we have a boxy design, so a bit of bezel here at the side, because I think this is using a flat display. It's not using the curved one that we saw on the Ultra. And these are the colors, as I said earlier. That's what you got. So for the Ultra variant, this one, you can see the camera protrudes even more. However, we're getting one more feature here, which is the laser autofocusing system, and the triple cameras and the LED flash. And the rest of the things are the same. You have the volume rockers here, the power button, the S Pen, and yeah, so this is the 10 megapixel selfie camera here. And you can see the design, pretty much the display is more how to say, bezel-less compared to the Note 21. You can see the difference. It's way different. So on the Note 20 Ultra, you're getting a more nicer design overall, and the best thing is this is all glass, and this is a matte finish, I think. So this color is a matte finish, and here is all the colors. Have a look for yourself. And yeah, I guess that pretty much wraps up this video. Actually, just want to give you guys an overall look of device, initial impressions, and what do I think of it. In my opinion, if you're looking to buy any of those devices and you have the budget to buy it, I say go for the Ultra, because you're at least getting everything that is the best of the best. You're not getting a how to say, a cut down version of it, because the Note 20 is pretty much cutting down on a lot of things, and which I feel you're paying like $1,000 just for it. Might as well just pay a little bit more and get the best of the best, because I'm sure the Ultra, I mean, it's way better in almost every aspect of the Note 20, basically. So that's my opinion. But if you are wondering if you're using a Note 10 or Note 10 Plus or Note 10 Plus or S20 S20 series device, I suggest don't buy this at all. Clearly skip this one, because the differences is not much compared to the S20 series and the Note 10. However, if you're coming from like maybe a Note let me see, Note 5, which is a very old device, yeah, Note 5 or Note 8, considered pretty old already, then you may consider getting one of these devices. But other than that, if you're not in those categories, then I really recommend avoiding these devices, because it's just too expensive. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for this video. Give you guys some overall impressions and whether you should buy this device or not. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. As always, if you're not subscribed yet, and hit on the notification icon bell if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.